Coming across the table on division line centers is all positional location calculations. Now this has nothing really to do with line center and positions. When we high center interference, we try to understand all calculation, what's going on with the formation. So in that motivation line stream, it's trying to understand, like, I don't know if anybody's seen Karate Kid with Daniel LaRusso, when basically, it comes into Pat Morita that was in calculations high system that was trying to understand what's going on through the defense line of communications and setting about, do you know drum technique, right? Drum technique, right? How to sway back and forth in communications, spacing between line center, measuring communication system, all levels of timeline. So everything that comes in space is to understand the position, location, direction is the center line. Okay. To understand that is how to use it the locations of a ruler. Okay. So a ruler has a communication system from one position to another position, right? So it's like bookends. You have a bookend here and you have a bookend here, and you have the books in between that holds the space, right? Which holds the grounds. That rotates its spin cycle, that keeps it up from levitation locations and keeps it up through its formation of its gravitational pull. Understand? So you have to have this space in between. All right. So it's all about, we're coming into countermeasure. Now the line communication interference is trying to understand all levels of form line position location into quarter length centers, into 2 quarter line rotations, 3 quarter locations into 4 quarters. It's all about position location, how you track centers. So it's important to understand these things. So in that position location, Daniel LaRusso decided to do it himself. And he ripped his shirt, right? Because he wasn't aware of what he was doing, because he didn't practice, right? He assumed he knew what he was doing. So this is a true understanding when you come to all levels. It's the space in between line conditions, all right? So it's all about, if something coming at you, you have a certain length, and that calculation is coming in, you know exactly. So you either move it away, but if you move away and you only got this much space, you're going to fall off into the water, right? So that's an indication line condition of its space. Life is based on position locations into measure. Size graph interference. But it doesn't matter if you have a plateau and a position location and standing on a rock formation always has a space in between, but it has to have a ground of levitation of its rotation, of its pull, all right? So it's trying to understand how it modifies all line conditions, how you use your crop circle locations, all right? Channel operation line centers. Let's say we get into box line center interference. Okay, we start with location 1 position, right? Center calculation, the high center, this is extremely high rise communications, all right? Line condition of 0 line position locations, equal line condition of 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, so how does this become line center location of space and line? Well, it's coming into the line communication into the line cross. Center line position location, direction location, 8 line channels, equal location of box. Box position location of 2, 0 location, 2 operates line conditions, equal locations of bracket interference of 0 gravity location into 0, 0, 0, 1 line system. All right. Time frequency, time lines, time channel line position locations. Measure communication at 3 line interference location, position, and directions. Now, to understand how to use position and direction, now we come into energetic dome line centers. Now the dome line center setup locations got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 communications, right? So we're setting up energy dome lines. Okay, 4 communication systems. All right. Now the line connecting position location is straight down cycle line connecting. All right. So you guys are going to go through line communications, all levels of countermeasure, right? Understand the high line centers of a quad line center interference, line positions, all levels of track locations, box center position at times pi. Now, line connecting, like I said, is extremely powerful stuff, right? So when you get into line communication, let's say you get into abundance, and all of a sudden you're trying to understand the track interference, but the program setting location comes in to allocate timelines. Once you get in triangulation of 3 line positions, you can put 3 channel locations in high system, you're fine. If you get another 3 or 4 people coming in, you have to get their in triangulation in the center communication, right? So if you're off centering in calculations and you're trying to line signal it, you have to get into telepathy wave signals. So that automatically changed the space of that locations to their timelines of its pi, okay? So to understand how to get in position location energy dome line centers, so line connection in all positions, line rotation, center line condition, right? So this is where it comes into all communication. Now the coloration changes lines of security on positions. Two track line connections all levels of graph line. Okay. Center communication comes into higher lines of rotation centers. Okay. So that center line connections of laser right up in position of flux capacitor. Okay. Flux capacitor locations. All right. That channel line positions down across the stream settings in position of two panels of operation system to one shield location. See the shield? Now the shield opens line center. Now this is where high division locations, high cis locations. Center communication in position of directions. Platitudes division location at 2-point centers. See the 2-point line center? Now that allocates line center. That streams this location in the data line streams. One position of two line, three positions or locations, right? One side location. Now you go into the other side locations. Let's get in high center. Line connect position of direction. Okay. Both side locations, right? Data stream center in position location into the zero line communication. Now you got the zero communication, zero communication, zero communication. Three line connections all levels. Okay. So once you're in center connection line system, you're adding communication of a new graph stream, setting line communication to program setting. This opens all communication systems. All right. So line positioning is all levels how you use your time frames. Now we're going to look at the clock. We're going to turn the clock into a map. Okay. So when the map is turned in line connections to your timeline frames, you understand the second, minutes, hours, and day location, right? Day, month, and year. Same thing, location, your birthday, right? So understanding the day, understanding the month, understanding the year is understanding your clock and locations. Your time frames location, position location is 60 seconds, position location is 60-minute location, position of one line center. That's one communication system in one block, location, one channel. So it gets more complicated, as it already is. So once you get in that formation line center, we're going to set locations into AI platforms, protocol communication system, CPU. CPU and line center location time frames, timelines times 5, right? Clocking system line connections, energy dome, set line connection lines, position of ozone layers, set an energy line interference and location of electrical wall defense line. That opens all communication system. Now, I really want you to understand these things. Your chakra system has its own map sequence location of its own time. You understand your 12 line centers, its location, your stargates, right? So once you get in a road graph streamline position, this opens up new channels of operation. Now, the line connecting is extremely powerful, right? I keep saying line connecting because it's a position, location, and directions as a two-channel operation stream, right? So it's mostly understanding what you're doing through graph stream locations into one panel of one road graph streamline connections of one road system. Okay, see the road line center? Now, this is where it comes in hieroglyphic location. Now, hieroglyphic location is position of directions. AI formation line center. Okay, awareness of information, perception of operation. Okay, AI, PO, right? So everybody knows what a PO is, like connections, right? It's a box. That's a PO box. That's all it is. It's a messaging line, center line, position of dispatcher location, right? Everybody has a PO box and a mailbox location, right? It's calculated modified location, how you see your awareness of its information system, of its program setting, of its operation system. Okay. So once you get into graph line streams, it gets really much easier locations. Now we're going to line connect all position location, how we set line connections to all levels of the sun line. Sun is in line position location in the left line rotation, center communication, all level system, right? You see it? Now it's in a little fading line conditions, but understand the line conditions, all generation light streams. Now we're going to change line position how we set communication to its moon. Moon is set position of directions into a new coloration path. Okay. So this is where it comes into the lines. All right. We set line communication into a new measure. This counter measures your size graph locations in flux capacitor. See the flux capacitor? Now, if you look really, really close, you can see the teleportation line stream. All right. But if you bring it back, you actually can see the structure line division. Okay. Walking on signals is like walking on graph of a line timeline rotation interference in position location of water graph location. Now, it's to understand how to use this all through countermeasure. When you're calculating and modify and using Mesokek and Metatron and the matrix grid workers, they are helping you to develop higher lines of geo patterns and communications to your geometric line center interference locations to its geography setting, getting you guys higher in teleportation units. All through calculation. Okay, so it's important to understand these things. So what we're going to do is we're going to get in argument locations to line connections to your keyboards. So phrase communication, all levels. Let's get into channel lines into your computer. There's the keyboard location, right? There's your computer, right? So computer to computer, 2 frame line centers, electrical light communication. Center position location is line connecting. 4 dot channels, okay, right there, into an X line. Now the X line, center line, and rotation interference understands its position, location, and directions, centering its high line channel of operation, right? Which means it's going into higher communication of travels of future line. So line connecting, again, is extremely line position, location, and directions, right? Okay, so it's channel operation line system, all right? So you open up the dimensional setting and you open up the keyboards. All right, so the keyboard line center is set up position. You have a space bar communication and you got the line connections right here, okay? Keyframes, key lock, key calculation streams, setting line connections into a box frequency calculation system, all right? Now, when you're going to higher line structure lines, you can understand the keyboard line frames. So let's get into the argument line channel. Okay, the atmosphere line center is systematic location is the width line center, quantum interference location of its rays, telegraphing location of its hemisphere line conditions, y line center over factor over pi. But the metric interference of its operation position location of its perception line communication doesn't understand the ground line conditions of the atmosphere line center. Okay, but understanding calculation is how to use the force communication of a unified system. But I changed the perception line streams. See, questioning. Really understand it's built a relationship with its energy of its vibration frequencies and look at everything through letters, numbers, and shapes and symbols as vibration. That's its relationship on its own. Don't look at it as A. Don't look at it as S. Don't look at it as D, F, G, H, J, K, L, I, O, P, T, R, E, S, D, W, Q. See it all through vibration. Okay? So once you understand the computer line, the high lines, the string lines, it sets graph tones, position locations into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 position across signals, line connect. Okay, see the graph location at the bottom? Now this channels its lines. Now, comes into higher position, we change the colorations. Changing colorations comes into line centers. Once you understand your keyboard frames, then you understand the flight navigations from F1 to F12. Okay, so let's say you got a formation line string, but the position locations of the form line center of 2 position locations understand its navigation signal. But the F3 line center is position location of sun line. That's a formation communications to F5 line center, which is a balanced communication into box location, right? But the F6 location doesn't understand the division line center of its moon line rotation, but I do understand the F7 location that's calculated and modified through my realm line center, my third eye communication system. But the F line center is now in a formation location of 8 channels, but the rotation signals are set off location position. So I'm having a question with the line connections, the avatar connections to its position of direction. And remember, this goes back line connections to your personalities. Once you balance your male and your female aspects of your vibration, energy, and frequencies, then you understand harmonics. The balance connection is harmonics. Getting position location of balance in 5 line track locations in division, right? So having conversations, not just with yourself inside line, having conversations with everything out communication, which is inner line. So everything that you see through perception is direct signal, like I said, from inside position. Having a conversation with the coffee cup is inline connections, not outline surface, okay? So your projecting is projecting everything to its calculations. How you see your eye receptor line channels, how you see rotation spin cycles, how you see your line division is all calculated and modified through countermeasure. Okay? Understanding this is all you need to know. Size graph locations from here to here. Anything between is space. Anything from here to here is walking system of time maintenance. How long it takes to get there. Pulling out communication, looking down at a bird's eye view, times a pi. Okay? All right, so once you get them in a calculus stream, now calculus stream is set up to new division line center. Okay, this is where you come to formation, location, 12 PNA lines and rotations. So once you get in calculation in a computer, you get in your graph lines, all right? So center of communication is set those locations. I think it's fantastic when you understand lines of circle information, okay? Lines of circle information. This is what it is. These look like dots, but these are lines. And you're asking me, how is that possible? I say, sir, it just looks like dots. Okay? It's line communications through an atom line center. Right? Now you have to look at these locations. Now everything is separated, right? But understand the high center interference is trying to stand the point locations, right? Everything has a point line center. Line connecting in line rotations into 3. Let's change the coloration again. 3 communications, right? So again, connecting 3 locations, right? Again, connecting, okay, in line connect. It's very powerful when you see locations into 3, right? So that comes into 1 calculation, into 1 graph string. All levels at 3, 6, and 9. So this is where it gets balanced communication, 3, 6, and 9. 3, 6, and 9, right? So comes in line connection, comes in formations, comes in high triangle line conditions into 3 plateaus. 3 UFO position location in a crop circle, line connecting. Triangular force line stream, set line position location into box locations. Okay, there you go. Holographic structure line condition of a tower. 3 triangle line centers at 3, 6, 9 location. All right. So, and this is where you really have to understand the number sequence pattern. It's trying to stand lines. 3 line communication, 3 equals lines. That's not a 1, that's a line. See? This is a communication to a 1. This is a communication to a 1. See? That's 1. This is not 1. This could be a 1, or it could be an L, or it could be a line. Okay? So it could be a line, equal line connection of line over division. So that's division over line, equal line connections of levels of level communications of a line system. Or it can be a dimensional line interference at equal location of identification. But the 1 line track location is the equal line connection of 3. But 3 positional locations equal locations of 1. See? I'm having a conversation with the numbers and letters all through its equation. Right? But it's always in balanced communications, always in a box location or triangulation. The center point is how you set line communications of tone. Very powerful when you come into a level calculation. Right? Traveling through it gives you all levels of atom line connection. Center line communications into 3 line division. Okay, so it's important you understand how to set points of communications. 3 forks of communication. Right? Round connect, pi, right? Sonar, setting signals in high line, right? All around across the board location, right? All through pi. And that is your crop circle. Hoo-ah. All right. So once you have the crop circle set lines in high positions, this is the crop circle location. This is you standing on your crop circle location. I know it's very powerful stuff, guys. All right. This is you standing on your crop circle. Okay? Crop circle. Anything below line center location is grounds of rotations and gravitational pull. Okay? So what's keeping you levitated line interference is a laser direct locations right through the center position. Right? Now, this is laser connect. Okay? So this is really interesting. Look at these things. Line connect is an extremely powerful step when you come into all communication in your teleportation unit. Now, line setting is all levels of solar graph location. So this is where it comes into an energy field line and its rotation setting. Okay. Now, open up the orb in communication system. Right. So the channel line communication sets lines of tones. Now that tone sets position of graphs, and that graph set locations and position. So line connecting is extremely powerful to measure of communications to all levels of division locations of your stream interference. Graph locations of data stream locations. Traveling net through an orb line center in a 3-graph location, all through your crop circle of clocking leading center. All right, so once you get in that position, high sending, we'll get into number of frequency patterns. Let's say it's 20. All right, so it's change in position per second locations. All right, so it's 43 line. Okay, now this is interesting. That's a time sequence, right? So that's a 20 line center. That's equal location of a charge, right? 20 communication of charge lines. Equal locations into north, south, east, and west is its position location of its compass. Now the compass line center sets position location into line connections to its triangle location, so it's 3, 6, 9 pattern. 3 sets location into the center communication. Line connect, so powerful stuff, right? 3 line communication in the center line. 6 in upline center, and 9 in rotation center locations. So this is where you change the frame line center location of the sun in communication of the moon. Sun comes over line cross location. Moon crosses over line position location directions. All right. Now, once you get in communication, you see the map sequence location of 20 position locations in high system. Okay. So in line connecting, it's extremely powerful stuff, right? Line position location of direction is all levels of signal, how you see your second, minute, hour of the day line system to your clocking system. Okay. So it's important you understand how everything is sequence location of a map all through clocking. So it's interesting, isn't it, when you see these things? You start to ask yourself, wow, my actual clock, my actual time is a map of me. There you go. So clock location. Now you got indicators. There's 4 line connections, right? 4, 4. Okay, 1, 2. Let's go 3. Let's go 4. Let's go 5. Let's go 6. Let's go 7. Okay, all levels of 4. Now the 4 communication sets center position. Okay, now this is a clock of 4. 4 channel operation is its pi. See the pi right there? There's the pi, right? Space in between line center is position location into 12 line into what? Equal locations into what? 15 minutes. 12 to 3, right? So instead of lurking line center and interference position location and looking track locations, you're looking at 4 channels and not 12, right? The ground center line center and interference locations comes in position location at each channel operation. See the 8s? So line connecting position is really powerful. The triangulation changes position location and directions into your pi, all through sequence. All through a 4 channel operation line system of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 locations. 7 equals 4 line communication, equal line center at infinity. 48 comes into graph location into your window. Hooah! So, very confusing, isn't it? Understanding how to use your pi, it always informs through your 12 DNA of your emotional system. Okay? You have 12 lines of track locations, okay, which is connected to your stargates. Line platforms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 there, right? See? See the road graph? See the panel? See that panel? Laser direct. Right? Downshift. See? So if you look at the line condition interference, you can actually see the teleportation units. There's an XT1000 line condition right there above the system location coming in. Signal locations. Setting line signals. Graphing string position locations. Right? Zipping down location. Zipping down location. Zipping down location. Zipping down location. Zip. Zip. Zipping down location. All through track location. Okay? So you really, really have to understand and pay attention to all these things because it's all connected to you in line center. Graphing streams, automatic signals, line interferences calculation system. All right. So when you understand more of pi, then you understand more levels of your crystal grids. Okay. It's changing your emotional system. Okay. That's connected to you through a graph of vibration. A graph. It's a graph, right? Okay. So you have the grounds. Now, grounds is the foundation of the earth. Okay. Which is ground level. Okay. So let's say you're in a highline center, grass stream location, right? Coming into an antenna line. See the antenna? Looks like a TV, right? Because that's what it is. So each tracker system has a TV reception line. That's a theta communication circle, setting line position, location, and directions, how to use your alpha channels. Delta communication, beta line center and rotation into its radio signal. Now the radio signal changes locations to its gamma line system. Once you get in a gamma rotation line in a rotation interference, you set communications to higher levels of channel position. Your stargates are setting line connection to the ground line center information to its track system, all through calculation. Hooah. Electrical light panels line interference sets all communication to higher formation location of box location of TVs of a reception location. So it's all about travel. To understand how to use the countermeasured used size graph, one position location into another, right? So you're looking at this. That's the distance locations, right? Longitude and latitude, right? E equals mc squared. Mass of calculations. Mass volume calculations to and from, okay, equals square. Square root, square triangle, trifactor, over pi, line connect, line division, line rotation, line sector, over calculation, underscore, line rotation, circle line interference, times pi. Okay, so you got a circle location, another circle location, equal locations of pi. Pi position location, line conditions, the Y factor line communications, into position locations, into V line center, position location direction, into circle location. See? Size graph locations from one line center to a left line connection. This is a box location is center line communication, right? So this line connecting, this is this. This is this through formula. Hold on a sec. So I think it's important to understand how to set up formulas of structural locations. We were just doing that through formula, which is really good through equation. You know, it's like answering patterns of questions. What is this? We already know what that is, right? It's a question. Change the coloration. Just a question, right? This goes a long way, right? But you can't get the answer from this because it's not a complete system. It's only got a left connection, right? Where's the right position? It needs left and right. It needs positive and negative. It needs the male and the female to get in track location to its question. Hooah, infinity system. The center point position opens all calculation right here. Line connecting position location is its flux capacitor, right? All position location of its orb channel opens all communication. Hooah. Intelligent line conditions. See the intelligence? Right here. There's the eyes. See it? Hello. How you doing? So Go into the inner child line center. It's really powerful stuff. Anything position, L, okay, is not a completing system because L becomes everything of formation. See? L becomes everything. See? It becomes everything. See? It becomes everything. See? L becomes everything. Okay? L becomes everything. See? L becomes everything. See? L becomes everything. See how that works? L becomes everything. A step. So it's sure you understand how to use the structures. Very powerful when you come into all the calculation, what it is through all lines, right? You go through an O. What is O? O through operation. O operation line connects. Travel communication, O. Right? Line connects into center communication, right? Flux capacitor, channel operation to ground setting. Open line position to its orb communication system. Redirect formations of 12 line centers of direct location. See? Setting signals in times of pi through sonar communication. Setting out signals. Okay? Ground setting. 45-degree angles, down shift. Center communication. So it's important you understand how this all works. Okay? All through traction. All right, so when 30 line centers, it's 1129 line rotation. So that's 11 channels of operation of 2 position of signals. 9 line center rotation is going to change the clock location into 10 to 11 to 12. That's 3 line communication into vector over pi. That's its map. Everything has to have a map of coordinates. You understand? So, a lot of information you guys have to understand how this works for you. It's a beautiful thing. Once you understand how to use the geometric patterns of U through communication, of teleportation strings, teleportation lights, communication systems through your space of times of pi, all through formation. Okay, so 32 line centers, map signal location lines in inference, get position locations 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Map sequence brain. All right, so we're in a 33 line center, 0, track locations. That's 2 operation signals, 3 communication of the sun, 3 calculations of future of the communication of the sunlight communication in the future communication. Back in equation, right? So you guys are back. So you guys came back through a clock locations into a map. Map of clocking. All levels of division location of GOD, guys. Geometric operation design, right? Understanding your awareness, understanding your information, and your perception is all levels of calculation, right? AI, okay? PO, right? So once you understand more of you, you understand the division location when it comes into the geometrics of you. It's the sacred geometry of you through track location of measure. You're countering measuring, okay? Size graph connections of space in between, right? It's like using a ruler, okay, from one end to the other. And what do you do in this position? You're working within or you're working without. Okay, you're starting within and you're working without. You're going to complete the puzzle either way. It's like 4 pieces of corner locations of a timeline. Okay, 1 position, 2 position, 3 positions, and 4. Okay, so you can work within, okay, or you can work without. Okay, working within is center connection, opens all calculation. Okay, so it's important you understand that all you're doing is putting the pieces and puzzles all together locations and to measure. The center communication is extremely powerful when you understand high lines. Okay, you can overlap signals in operation locations. Okay. Comes in all levels into a fan wheel. So this comes into a direct location of a spin cycle, to an add-on line, to a rotation spin, to center connections, to graph stream locations, a point system. Okay. Flower recognition timeline. 4 line connections into a diamond connection. Hooah. All right. So there's a lot of things you guys have to understand. It's all the geometricals of you. And Metatron and Mesokick and Metric Grid workers are there to help you, to guide you, to get you into higher levels of travel. How to basically put the pieces and puzzles together to its formation location of its countermeasure. Okay? So it's putting the pieces and puzzles together for you, right? And once the puzzle is done, you can see the operation of its image, of its vision. So, pretty powerful stuff, isn't it? It's amazing. All right, so you guys got track line centers, high interference locations. Drink your waters. You're back in signal. So I will see you guys at 12 line center. Okay. So if you guys had a lot of fun in travel communication system, all levels of 4 energy dome line centers and high interference position locations into atmosphere, hemisphere, stratosphere, and bio. New energy domes are all set up locations into number sequence pattern, all through geometry locations in its directions. All right. See you soon. Adios.